All right, everybody, welcome back. Today is a great opportunity, I thought, to share with you guys a tool that's, every once in a while you run across a tool that's just really cool. This is something new from Milwaukee. It is their M12 Fuel half-inch digital torque wrench with one key kit. Part number's 2466-22. See, this is the box that it comes in. This kit includes your digital torque wrench. You get two 2-amp-hour compact batteries, 12 volt, or they're M12. You get a charger and you get a carrying case. So a couple of some facts: you get up to 50% faster installation. Delivers torque accuracy up to plus or minus 2%, and we'll go into some of the settings here shortly, and I'll show you some of this information in more detail. All M12 batteries will fit it, and let's just jump into the kit itself. But I just wanted to show you a couple of things. It's got the Red Link Plus technology, the battery protection, the tool protection, the brushless motor. One thing about this unit is if you're doing, let's say, for an example, let's just open this thing up right quick. So here you go. So for example, if you're doing, let's say you've got a project you're doing for a customer, you're rebuilding or building a new 350 Chevrolet engine, you can go in there and label the project. You can then pull up on your PC all of the torque settings, sequences, what it was specifically you did torque. All of that information can be saved on the tool and transferred to the One Key app or the One Key cloud. So I don't know, it's something a little CYA maybe, something you could provide to your customer. Hey, here's all your torque, here's a report of your torque, the torque settings on this engine. And so anyway, getting into this thing, what you're going to find your owner's manual. You're also going to find your certificate for the calibration from the factory, and you're going to need to recalibrate this tool at the required service intervals. So just like any torque wrench, really. So basically what we have here is a standard torque wrench with a motor in it to turn the anvil, to turn the socket. So you just saw the video of me torquing some lug nuts on a smaller vehicle. Actually, it was a bass boat. The rundown torque, which I'm fixing to talk about, was set probably a little bit high. If you noticed, I had it set at 100%, and it would drive that lug nut pretty tight, and it would require less manual torquing. So I probably would recommend setting that at 75 or 80%, just so it doesn't drive that fastener up so hard and violently. Back that off just a little bit and then finish your torque like you normally would. So your hand grip, it's your traditional rubber overmold that you've come to like from Milwaukee Tools. Feels really good in the hand. This is your forward grip here. Again, it's not, I guess you could call it rubber overmold, but really it's just a sleeve that they've slid over the tool. So you can kind of feel it. It kind of twists on the tool a little bit. It's not like this down at this end, but nevertheless, it's comfortable. You have a paddle style trigger. I like this, you know, no matter where I'm gripping it, back here on the very back of the tool or up on the grip, traditionally on the grip, I can get a hold of that no problem. Here's your lockout switch here on the bottom in front of that paddle switch. Real easy to lock that tool. This is going to be your coin cell door for that battery. That battery powers the LED, or LCD screen, I should say. Let's see, what else about this? Here's your typical square drive anvil. This is a 1/2-inch drive, and this is your tighten, loosen lever. Pretty traditional, nothing special there. LED light, and it is very, very bright. Let's see, what else are we missing here? I guess we'll just jump into the LCD screen and show you some settings there. So again, this kit comes with the carrying case, your manuals, your calibration certificate. It comes with some information about one key, and I'm going to get into that here in just a moment. It comes with a quick start guide, and this might be a good way for us to get started on this LCD screen. So let me open this up. Okay, here is the quick start guide I mentioned, and in here, see if I can get this close to the camera, you can see here how to use. So what you're going to do is you're going to set target torque, pull trigger to max RPM. Tool will automatically stop prior to target torque to prevent over torquing. Finish by hand to reach target torque. So that's the basic rundown of how the tool works. Now you can also press save to record this particular project, or you can skip that. So basically what we were talking about was, here it says pull trigger to max RPM. Tool will automatically stop prior to target torque to prevent over torquing. What I was talking about minutes ago regarding the rundown torque is that in my mind is very important. So you're going to pull that trigger maximum RPM, but I think setting that rundown torque is real important just for the smoothness of the tool, and again easing up on that fastener, and allowing the user to finish off the torque smoothly. So adjusting target torque, we kind of went through this. Navigate to target torque and press OK. Adjust the target torque using up and down arrows. In this case, this is set to 40 foot-pounds with a plus or minus 10%. Press OK when finished. Navigate to range and press OK. And this is where he makes, or where this quick start guide makes the adjustment to that torque range, what is acceptable by the manufacturer of the product, your product or project you're working on. So navigate to done when you're finished. And the next thing you do is adjust that rundown torque we talked about. So in this case, the manual is navigating and sets that rundown torque to, sets it to 100%. Again, my personal opinion, after using this tool, I would probably set that to, somewhere between 70, 85%, something like that. And that will make that tool much more smooth. So navigating the settings, and again, on that particular project, they select foot-pounds, and away you go. So let's talk one key real quick. You're going to see this on all your one key, or all your Milwaukee tools with the one key feature. Okay. First thing you're going to do, this is going to have stop fastened to the tool. It's going to give you instructions to go to your app store, and it's going to ask you to download the one key app. And here I've got it handy. And so what we're gonna do is pull up one key. It's gonna pull up my inventory. So I scroll down through my inventory, and let's see, where is that tool at? That tool is, where is that tool? Here it is, right here. So I'm going to select that tool, and that tool is, and I apologize for the glare, but it's going to show the serial number. It's going to show the picture that I took of the tool, and it is going to show a lot of information, or a lot of information is in here under some different buttons that I have pre-selected whenever I entered the information into this app. So one thing that's really cool, you'll find under uploads, it pulls up operator's manual. So yes, it comes with a paper manual. I do keep those, but in this case, there's always a digital copy on the app. Under each one of your tools is the digital version of your owner's manual. So just scrolling through here, I thought I'd stop here, and this right here on the tool, let me show you. This is the progress bar. So these are the lights that flash. And you'll see here, 3 white lights in the middle indicates 40%. A white light on the left, middle, and on the right indicates 60%. And 80% would be the 2 lights on the left and the 2 white lights on the right. That would indicate, again, 80%. And then green is obviously, lit up here solid across. And then if it lights up red, that means you've gone past your selected torque range, and you'll have to start all over backing that off. But you would be able to access the saved projects that you've worked on, where you can label them. You can print those reports off. You can share them with your customers, or perhaps you got to share them with your boss or the shop foreman for the file, whatever the case may be. You can do that right there from your PC or your tablet. So, and again, that's 2 amp hour compact lithium ion batteries, 12-volt charger. So now I will say, if you buy this, for me, a tool like this, I'm going to buy the kit, where a bare tool, for something more common like a drill or something, but something like this, I want the full kit. I want the batteries. I want the plate. I want the storage for the batteries, etc. Now, if you buy just tool only, you still get a case, but it's a very narrow case, and it's just to hold your torque wrench. So if you're going to be doing service calls, you can put your batteries in here. You got a place to put some sockets, for example. Here's an 18, here's 3/4, there's a 19, whatever. You got room to put some extra tools in here. They were very smart in designing this case, so you could put your larger 12-volt batteries in here. So I got a couple of 4 amp hour batteries. The 6 amp hour batteries are the same size, so they will fit. And you still have room for a couple of extra batteries or other tools or sockets, whatever it may be that you're going to carry with you, perhaps on a service call. So anyway, so that's what we've got here. I'll go ahead and throw a battery in. One thing about this tool that I liked was, I thought this was going to be all plastic, except for the head. But this is all metal. Now, what kind of metal? I don't know. It's very lightweight, obviously metal, but I was happy to see that it was an all metal tool. I do like the way that the battery is covered. So you're not really putting, if you're really reaching out here towards the end of that torque wrench to get that maximum leverage, you're not putting any pressure on the battery itself. Now with your larger batteries, these do stick out. So they do have the opportunity to, you know, put unwanted pressure on that battery. So you have to just be conscious of that. Now, I will say, even though this has room for these bigger batteries, and let's say you might want to take the bigger batteries on a service call, it's really not needed. These 2 amp hour batteries, even a 1.5 amp hour battery, is going to last a long time. So that's not really an issue. So the run time isn't going to be a problem here. So, and I think I misspoke just a minute ago. You know, this coin cell battery, and anyway, you pull this door out and you can replace the battery if needed. But what that battery does is it saves. It's really for the memory, okay, not to power the LCD screen. So now that I've got, let me throw a battery in it here. Now that I've got a battery in it, the tool's going to fire up, okay, and now you can turn it off by holding down the power button, or you can just kind of bump this trigger. I just barely touch that trigger, fires up. So I do like that. I like the fact that it just bumped the trigger and it can come on. So here are your directional arrows for selecting certain pieces of information. Here's your OK or enter button in the center. I mentioned this was the power button. This here is the back button or exit button. And then this here is for files. So for example, information saved, you can access that information here. And matter of fact, you can go, it'll sort that information that's saved in here by date or by label, if you decide to label that project. So we'll flip through here. So here's the home. Well, first, here's your battery indicator. So this has got 3 bars. So I've been using this quite a bit today and quite a bit yesterday. And you can see I've only used just 1 bar out of 4. So this is your home button here. So I've got it highlighted. You can see as I scroll down. I lied, I didn't have it highlighted. I'm gonna hit OK. And that's gonna take me to some different things, some modes. So let me just jump into the first thing that opens up, some modes. I can add a mode here, add a mode. I can select what form of measurement. Foot-pounds obviously is me, Newton meters on occasion, inch-pounds a lot, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what that is. Kilograms to centimeters, I'm really not sure. So I'm sure somebody in the comment section will ridicule me for that. Anyway, so you can select your form of measurement. I'm gonna go foot-pounds. The first thing that pops up, it just starts at 50 foot-pounds. This particular unit, being a half-inch drive, will do 12.5 foot-pounds minimum to 150 foot-pounds maximum. So here we go, we got 50 foot-pounds. I'm just gonna say okay, or you know, here we go, we can adjust that. I can change that just by pushing it individually, or I can hold it down and it will begin to go fast. You can see it started going faster, changing in increments of 10. So there's 150 foot-pounds. Let's just take it back down to 140. Or you know what, just to make math easy, we'll take it back down. We'll take it to 100 foot-pounds. That's what our setting's going to be. We're going to hit OK. Now we're going to set our minimum and maximum. So this would be our range for say. So let's say this fastener, whether it's a lug nut, whatever it may be, we need to set it at 100 foot-pounds. but there are allowances. So, you know, there's a plus and a minus, so or a range. So we're going to set that range here. It comes up with the minimum, so we can first, and then there, you know, the maximum will be the next selection. So first we're going to set the minimum. So I'm going to say it needs to be within 5%. Okay. And so I'm going to hit OK. And then on the plus side, I'm going to say the same thing according to, let's say, the manual that of whatever it is I'm working on. It allows for a plus or minus 5%. So here we are. I'm going to go with a +5, a -5. I'm going to hit OK. It's going to bump me down to done. Am I done? Yes, I am. And there we go. So that's going to be what our settings are going to be on this particular project, or this particular fastener, I should say. I can go ahead and select it. I can apply mode, which apply means the tool is going to accept that that we selected, that particular torque range. So apply mode, and there we are. So you can also, and I'll go back up here to home, hit enter. So that was modes. We'll go back into it, and I can add as many of those as I want to, and that'll save in this device. And then you can just go to a quick feature, which just with the touch of a button, it brings up this screen, and you can scroll down and select, you know, let's say you had 10 very commonly used torque settings preset in here. You can, you know, do a quick button, brings up this screen, scroll down, bang, 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 grab it and apply it, and you're ready to go. So, you know, like anything, this takes a little bit of getting used to, but I'll be honest with you, it's about as easy as any cell phone. If you're familiar with Android, or if you're familiar with iPhone, scrolling through here and figuring this out is really not that hard. So here is saved events. So I go in here, I can do grouping, and I can do some labeling of each project. View recent history. Okay, so I have no recent history because I deleted the history. But you can save in here the history, and it will save only so much on the tool. But what you really want to do is connect to Milwaukee's One Key app, and you can access that from your iPhone, Android phone, your tablet, iPad, your PC, and you can go in there and print out reports on, say, a 350 engine build, showing all the sequences for the head, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, we're going to back out of here. Let's back out of here. And we're going to go to settings. So jumping in here, units. You know, I'm a foot pounds and inch pounds guy, so these two are going to be mostly commonly selected for me. Newton meters on a very rare occasion in this shop anyway. And so I can go in there and select that. So the primary setting for this unit, I've got it set to foot pounds. Now I can come back in here and I can make an adjustment when you go in to set your torque settings originally for whatever project it is. It brought up that option, and for that particular project it will only do what option you selected, and whenever you're done with that project it reverts back to your primary setting, which mine is set to foot pounds. So hope that made sense. So you can go in here and change sounds. You can make it, you know, make a certain beeping noise when you're let's say 60% to your torque range, a different sound when you're 80. You can change the sounds to your liking. And when I mentioned the 60 and 80% percentage to your torque range, these lights are also indicators of that. They will light up in different sequences of white, and that will determine, or that will tell you where you're at on your way to your torque setting, okay? And then when it turns green, obviously you're there. So I'll let you go into the manual and learn the different light up settings and what they mean. But I can go in here to screen brightness. We know what that means. Screen display. We can do a dark screen. So I kind of like that, I'll be honest. So I'm going to keep it there on dark screen. Language, obviously. So there we are with that, with those settings back. So rundown torque, this is interesting. So this is what I was talking about earlier. I've got the rundown torque set to 100%. And I'll be honest with you, the 100% is a little bit high. So I'm going to make the adjustment. And so I just hit OK because the 100% was highlighted. Hit OK, the arrows popped up. Now I'm going to back that down to 70. I'll bump it to 75% because I felt like whenever it hit the 100%, or as it was getting close to that 100% of that rundown torque setting, it was just kind of jerky. And I feel like it just needs to ease up that it needs to run that fastener and just ease it up to a stop and let me take over from there. So without the jerking. So I'm going to set that rundown torque to 75%. Now this is a 0 to 100 RPM tool. So, I mean, we're not talking impact speeds here, but at 100% or 90%, it's going to run that fastener up there pretty fast. So I saw some people say it was a little slow. Personally, I think it's on point. I think it's great. When you're dealing with torquing fasteners, you do not want that to be super fast. I mean, you really want it just to ease it up there to where it makes contact or puts a little bit of torque on it, and then you finish it off by hand. So anyway, enough with my soapbox. So there we are. I'm sitting at that 75. I'm gonna hit OK. Takes the arrows away. Now I can scroll up to the back button there. Hit OK. Oop. I bumped it. We're good at 75. So I'm gonna bump it up. There we go. We're gonna back out. So there's your rundown torque, okay? So now we could probably just hit this back button there. Now you just heard it. So now it is set, it's ready to go. It gives you your range here at the bottom. And let me scoot it up here. And you're gonna be looking at, see if I can get the glare out of it. You're looking at a -5, +5. This here is a file saved, and that's a little disc icon, and the number 0 next to it indicating 0 files or 0 projects have been saved in this unit. We're looking at 100 foot-pound setting. So at this point in time, I would attach my fastener and go do my job. So again, here's another way to look at it. Your -5 or +5, that number is actually 95 to 105 would be your torque range. So yes, our target is 100, but 95 to 100. Folks, I hope that I know that was long. It was a lot longer than I expected it to be or planned for it to be, but I hope the information will help you make a more informed decision on making the purchase like this here. I'm going to give it 5 stars out of 5. I think it's a great tool. It's a torque wrench that I need, and it is digital. It does a lot of things, like I mentioned, the reports, and it is just a nice tool. I mean, regardless, you can run your fastener up to the product and then finish it off yourself. Takes a lot of the ratcheting out of it. You know,